Hey guys, welcome back to TheLinearCurve on my prehensile trunk versus conflict. This is for Pokemon Perfect's ADV Tour, the first Pokemon Perfect ADV Tour of the 2020 calendar year. There's going to be plenty more of them. Come to Pokemon Perfect and get involved, but I won't give you that spiel 3 games in a row. Let's just go to Game 2, see if Linear can even bring us to a Game 3, and we will go from there. Conflict did take Game 1, despite Lanier busting out a very cool team with a Rhydon and a Miltank. Almost got there, close but no cigar. Conflict looking for the 2-0 victory. Here is Game 2. My prehensile trunk. That's Lanier. He is bottom side. He's got a Coon. It is a lead Swampert for Conflict on the top. Switching over to the cool Regice that a lot of top ADV players think is a garbage mon. We'll see if Conflict can get some use out of it. He's going to go with a T-Wave on the Coon, who already has 2 Calm Mind boosts. As such, the Thunderbolt only 21%. Surf a hell of a lot more despite the big special defense from Regice, 44%. Here's Rachi thinking this is a boom, and it is not. It is just another Thunderbolt, and he'll catch a 10% para on that Rachi on the way in. Good turn for Conflict. He now goes Hidden Power Fire. Also good. Nice chunk on the Rachi, who's going to be fully paralyzed. Conflict off to a good start in this game for sure. Now Blissey coming in for Lanier. Hidden Power Fire going to bounce off. However, there is the threat of Boom. Might not have that, though, because he's shown Thunder Wave, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power. I mean, it's got to be Last Move Ice Beam, right? There's no way that he has Boom here. There's no way he doesn't have Ice Beam. So I think Lanier should have picked up on that and is now no longer playing around the possibility of Explosion. And I mean, as if we didn't know before, it was pretty much a guarantee. But we've now seen it. It is, in fact, Last Move Ice Beam, obviously. There is no Explosion, and Lanier now knows that. Here comes Blissey. That is 100% safe against this Regice, but instead Conflict goes to a T-Tar. He goes Rock Slide here, 39%. The best thing Lanier could do back is just a Seismic Toss. That is not going to do the trick. Advantage Conflict here. That's going to force Lanier out. Here comes Claydol. Dragon Dance coming down here. Depending on the set, this could be very dangerous. +1 HP Bug, Ice Beam. He can live an Earthquake here. But he gets out of the way, and it is the Earthquake, but it's going to be blanked by the Levitating Gengar here. Could be a Boom spam team, or at least a little bit, but then again, Regice doesn't have Boom, so maybe it's not. Hard to say exactly what Conflict has. Maybe some kind of weird Regice TSS, but we haven't seen Spikes either. There's Thunderbolt and Wish, respectively. Doesn't look like Rachi's killable from here. Maybe a really good roll on a Fire Punch if he has that. But he does just go for Boom, and that's going to result in trading with the Rachi. Interesting that Gengar would Boom from such high health, but he deems that worthwhile. Maybe he was trying to hit the Blissey there. Either way, Skarm receives the Wish and is back at full health, and we end up with a Metagross previously unrevealed for Conflict, getting an attack raise on Meteor Mash as the Coon comes in for Lanier. 53%, eats another Meteor Mash, 48%. Gets a Surf off, decent damage, but advantage definitely with Conflict, who I feel has been a bit ahead throughout the game. And Meteor Mash will be good enough. However, there is a Dugtrio Revenge kill to kill Conflict's tempo quite a bit and bring us back to equilibrium for Pop. There is still the one hidden poke for Conflict that Lanier doesn't know about. Maybe he can deduce what it is. But right now we've got ourselves a 4-4, and there is a 49% big Hydro Pump on the Skarm on the way in that gets out of the way without even spiking up. And there's a Hydro Pump again, this time landing on Blissey for 20%. If it is an offensive pert, the threat of Focus Punch is dangerous here. Goes Ice Punch instead. Focus Punch would have nailed Blissey on the chin there, but he either doesn't have or didn't use Focus Punch, and Soft Boil did come down. Here's Regice, here's Seismic Toss, it falls to just 35%. I'm not sure why Conflict made this switch. Regice has no chance of beating Blissey here. Thunder Wave on the Regice, and Thunder Wave back on the Blissey. Conflict's team might be relying on Gengar to remove Blissey, and since it failed to do that, it blew up on something else. Maybe it was trying to blow up on Blissey, but it didn't. But since the Gengar did not kill the Blissey, Blissey seems like a tough poke. If it's not a Focus Punch or an offensive pert, and this Regice we know doesn't have Explosion, those are two Pokemon that are really walled by this Blissey, especially with the Metagross down as well. It seems like a difficult poke to deal with. T-Tar could probably punch through it, but T-Tar doesn't exactly want to switch into Blissey and eat a Thunder Wave or some of the things like Toxic that Blissey could do. This one's not going to have it. We know the full set here. But the point stands that T-Tar, even though it beats Blissey generally one-on-one, does not necessarily want to switch into Blissey. Full Power and Soft Boiled on this turn. We've still got ourselves a 4-4, and Conflict still has that last Pokemon hidden. Seismic Toss coming down. Regice going to be at 1%. And there's the Thunderbolt, but Regice going to die to the sand here. And Lanier takes the 4-3 lead, but we still don't know the last poke for Conflict, and that is very important information. Depending on what it is, it could be a very dangerous threat here. It could be a Coon, it could be a Lax, it could be a Salamence. There are a number of things that Conflict could have that could set up and sweep if he keeps it hidden long enough. Swampert Hydro Pump crit on the way in, 35% on Bliss. However, does Swampert have any physical threat for the Blissey? It certainly does not seem to. And there is the Soft Boiled here as Tyranitar switches in. T-Tar is not gaining lefties. Could be a Lumberry here. We already know that it's a DD set. Goes for Hidden Power, 36%. Not a bad chunk. Claydol probably just Earthquakes here. Yep. Outspeeds him and kills him from 71%. That is one fast, hard-hitting Claydol. That's got to have quite a bit of speed and maybe quite a bit of attack as well. And now he gets a Boom Off that Conflict does not protect against. And all of a sudden, Conflict with only one Pokemon, and that is definitely not what I would have predicted his last Pokemon to be. We've got a Ludicolo here, of all things, for Conflict. Goes Rain Dance here, which would normally make him faster than everything with that Swift Swim ability, but he's going to be immediately paralyzed by Thunder Wave, and that is probably the ball game. I cannot imagine how Ludicolo could break Blissey here. I'm going to go ahead and call it impossible, and I believe Lanier is going to be sending us to a third game, pending some kind of meteorite coming down, blowing up his home and his computer, and yeah, disconnecting, right? I mean, that's one way for Conflict to win. But I believe we're going to a game 3, just going through the motions. Seismic Toss will do it. We are, in fact, going to a third game. Either the TheLinearCurve or Conflict will be eliminated pre-round 1 of this tour. Find out who that is in the next video. Rate, comment, subscribe. I will see you in game 3.